Oxygen is a very different beast, and a last chance qualifier, it's a very different ball game.
Absolutely. This is a big step up in terms of level of competition, and I think for KARN & Co., obviously, it's an opportunity to prove yourself. They did that in Element 1, like you said, winning that. I did not catch that game, unfortunately. But for Oxygen here, this is about the beginning of a redemption. You lose that playoff game against the Sonics, like the Desk talked about, and you lose the ability to progress further in the playoffs. Now it's LCQ time. No team wants to be here. It's Oxygen's chance to set a date tomorrow with Space Station in the semifinals. Wildcard Mirage is the other side of the semifinal bracket. There's an opportunity here to still salvage the season. They're pretty low on SI points, and they're going to need to make it to Atlanta to have a shot at SI. So the Desk has touched on that plenty. We start out with, like Black said, some pretty favorable maps here for Oxygen. Going to a more standard map 2 in Oregon for KARN & Co. is impressive. But I will say, Oxygen looks like they have won the map ban phase until we get to Consulate, and I'm just, with the pattern we've seen so far between yesterday and today, a map 3 hasn't been necessary yet. I'm not sure it will be today either.
I don't know. I don't know if I could take that disrespect, Flynn. If you're saying you're not going to map 3 because KARN are taking it in 2, hey, I'm here for it. But KARN & Co., if they lose this first map or this second map, we're going to map 3. We just have to be. I mean, just so excited to see it go the distance here. Let me describe to you that Element 1 final and exactly how it went. Because not only did they have to take down teams like SSG Academy, who at the time were one of the big threats, and GGG, who were another big threat in Element 1, but they had to reverse sweep. They lost map 1 and map 2 5-7. 12 rounds both times, they lost them both. The next 3 maps, 8-6 KARN & Co. on Theme Park. 8-6 KARN & Co. on Oregon. And an 8-6 on Bank to close it out. It was a best of 5 overtime absolute grind, but it was worth it for KARN & Co. It was worth it for us who got a chance to see that game happen. And I don't know, I'm just trying to bring that energy to life again here for KARN & Co. against OXG. As Jesse pointed out, a little bit of a different roster. You lose Nick, he's stepped away from the team. You lose Packer to Wildcard. And you bring in Tristan and Giddy to see what they can do. And obviously they'll have a very long uphill climb if they want to take this one. Oxygen is a very different beast.
Well, Kixrow getting a very rude welcoming to this match by Yaga as he loses about half his health, a little bit more than that outside the library window. As the repel coming from KARN & Co. in the setup of the attack, trying to go for a top over clear. This is a kitchen and dining defense. So for Oxygen, maintaining that top 4 control for as long as possible, and perhaps for the entirety of the round, if KARN & Co. can't get their act together on the attack, is the priority. And I think for KARN & Co. setting up outside on these balconies and trying to establish the cutoffs onto rotations will be the priority. For Yaga here again, just be a nuisance. Honestly, be the superstar that he has been so far in the stage, like Jesse talked about. It hasn't really been a newer stage in the last couple of weeks. It's really been Yaga's stage to take over this team and be the leader in terms of the killing department.
Tristan, we'll see what he can do to match that killing power of OXG and of Newers. You see him trying to step up and see if he can take care of Foxay, who's now creeped around into the corner. He'll do a little too much, though, as he tried to go for the wide swing on the piano double door. He gets his head taken clean off. Kixrow very low HP. That'll be a bit of a pain as he tries to take another fight over towards the office side. We see the KARN & Co. clearly have a plan in mind. They're trying to get at least some control of office and force these defenders back, allowing them to access that dining wall and potentially get that plant down. It does not seem like they want to go for the full top across clear. They don't need necessarily to clear out Master and to clear out Solarium. It seems like they aren't going to do the whole thing. It'll make your attack faster, but it could be a little bit risky if you don't maintain a watchful eye on office above. The same can be said for Oxygen, though. Not paying attention to Kixrow having taken that position. Then they'll lose 2 more bodies, 3 more bodies as KARN & Co. roll through the map.
The plan going down, and you thought there might have been a shot there for the Frost on Solar Stairs, but it's Carnage and company KARN and the club taking the first round on attack on Chalet. Very impressive.
Yeah, good start. They knew exactly what they had to do, and they made sure that they weren't going to do too much. Something that on Chalet you see come into play quite a bit. Right? You have that top floor, and you could try to take every inch of it. But if you can just force those defenders out of office, remove them from looking at any of those holes above dining, you set yourself up for that execute, and lo and behold, that is exactly what they did. So at least things start off well. Of course, we're not going to read into that too much. Typically, when you see a team like KARN & Co. come in, any T2 team coming in to play against a T1 team, the team with the more experience, after a few rounds and they start to feel you out and see what kind of playstyle you're bringing to the table, that's when the real game begins.
I think for KARN & Co. there, just very solid understanding of the fundamentals. Like you said, not going for an entire clear all the way into solar, just doing a half clear to make sure they had the office control, and just stick Kixro and the Yana behind the desk inside of office and make sure that he's able to cut down any flanks that come in. And just seemed like a lapse in communication there as the first pick that Kixro acquired from behind the desk. Seemed pretty straightforward, but just no reaction from the Jaeger of Yaga in the hallway outside of Piano as well. So it was a clean 3K there for Kixro, opened things up, even after losing more than 50% of his health early on to Yaga. So at a disadvantage, Kixro still persevering and performing at a high level. That is what the desk talked about in terms of his ability to be an entry, to be a clear star performer for this KARN & Co. team. And Oxygen, well, it is their map. It is still a bit of an attacker-sided map on Chalet. At the end of the day, though, losing the first round in that kind of fashion, flawlessly, nonetheless, from KARN & Co. It's a bit of a worrying sign here for Oxygen. Maybe not starting up the way they'd like to.
Perfect nade. I was seeing if Yaga would maintain maybe that position towards the right or back off towards the stairs, but a well-placed nade from Kixro blows him sky high. He's on the hunt for more as well. He's got Fish to worry about, who is kind of playing this little ring around the rosy behind him. Fish looks the wrong way, and Kixro times his swing well. We'll get the finishing blow on a foot through the stairs, but he downed him and finished him off nonetheless. Another very good start for KARN & Co. Talk about Kixro, the man of the hour, at least so far on Chalet, the man who led KARN & Co. in the fragging department back in Element 1. Seems to be doing just fine against a different caliber of opponent. That is 3 on the round. That is 6 kills already in this series.
Kitty will tag in for the fun of it and grab 2 more, and it's back-to-back flawless rounds in the attack for KARN & Co. Off the backs of Giddy and Kixro, and you can see Yaga's face mildly unimpressed so far with Oxygen's beginning to their own map pick. And like you said, the people's champion off to a wonderful start. Again, these attacking rounds led by Kixro, and the dominoes continue to fall. A lot of Oxygen members just getting picked apart one by one with no opportunity for a trade whatsoever. Everyone's on their own mission right now, and not enough teamwork being brought from Oxygen. It's going to send them back to kitchen and dining without a kill on the board.
Well, and just for the record, I plan to ride this high as long as we possibly can. I feel like
fair enough.
I feel like it's not gonna last forever. So as long as KARN & Co. are winning rounds, you're gonna hear me bringing the energy, because they are not favored in this series whatsoever. Let's just put it that way.
No.
And Oxygen, it's just a matter of time before they find their stride and get things going. But for now, it's 2 flawless rounds for KARN & Co. Not a single kill for OXG. And Chalet, I mean, it's a map that, well, requires that you get some kills. That's one way of putting it. This map, yes, it can be structured. Yes, there are going to be moments where it's all about the utility. But if you cannot get your frags on this map, you are going to go just about nowhere. And Kixro clearly proving that he knows how to get kills, where to find those kills, and, well, exactly the results that you can get when those kills are coming your way.
Giddy using the Rotero drones, and that should drop the first Evil Eye. So a lot of utility getting taken off, and again Kixro has lost damage, or lost health outside of that library repel. It's down to about 25 this time. So the poor man taking a beating every time he tries to get up onto this balcony. The the kill has not been found yet for Oxygen. They cannot put him in the grave. And he's been the player on KARN & Co has been doing the most damage against. You got to think this opening damage. You'd love to be able to convert this into a kill for Oxygen, just to get some kind of momentum and stop the star performer. Nonetheless, he perseveres. He will continue on, and Wi-Fi now taking aim towards Yaga as he's being pinched upon from Library and the blue hallway window. He's between a rock and a hard place here. And doesn't look like Foxy is going to catch anyone vaulting into the game's double window. So a bit of a stalemate occurring as Tristan will now tag in for the battle with Yaga. Really, the only damage done now is to Kickstro and to Wi-Fi now is down to about 5 HP. And there goes Yaga. The first pick for Oxygen immediately traded out by Tristan. And a team kill for good measure. Okay.
I will say Yaga was in the trenches there, in the absolute thick of it. And he manages to come up with a kill and ends up putting OXG in the advantage to start off this third round. He also delayed so much time off the clock, something that KARN & Co are going to have to fight against for the remainder of this round. A kill onto Fish will help things out, but they still have a lot of work left to do, and still Dream to worry about, Newers to worry about, who aren't going to give up this top floor control for free. And KARN is about to realize that the hard way. Instead of challenging it, though, he will drop away and maybe play for a bit more of a direct take and leave his two teammates to deal with what might lie above.
Oh, the shot through the west main window, nearly taking the head clean off Fox, and that would have alleviated all the defenders from the bomb site for Oxygen. So as 30 seconds tick away, Giddy making his approach to Solar gets cut down by the Alda. Newers cannot hit his shots though, and Tristan will win out the engagement, equalizing once again at a 2v2. And Carnage trying to rotate out towards Trophy window. He's got a frost mat at his feet on the vaulted, and Dream laying prone behind a desk in Trophy. Tristan trying to use that top control that they grabbed so early on in this round to their advantage. He's not going to spot anyone. KARN takes care of the frost mat, but springing into action, he'll be picked apart in the midst of a crossfire. And now Dream heading topside as Foxay will cut down Tristan, and OXG back on track.
Yeah, back on track, and you gotta give credit to Yaga for really how well that round started, because for almost 2 full minutes, he sat top fireplace, getting absolutely pelted by bullets, utility raining down upon him, and he maintained his composure. He maintained his cool. He didn't overstep. He didn't peek something and get fried. He managed to just flirt right with the edge of disaster about 100 different times, and you saw how much trouble that gave KARN & Co before they were eventually able to take him out. Around that 90-second mark, it seems like, based on the replay, is when they ended up taking care of him. But with all that utility wasted and all that time wasted, it was an uphill battle for KARN & Co for the rest of the round. OXG could play so much more passive and just wait for the fights to come to them.
It's still very early days here. I just think witnessing that engagement for Newers upstairs inside of Master, just a heads up 1v1 against an Ash that you would imagine that Newers would win most times, and yet he just seems to have not found his stride as of yet. He'll hop off the Frost. Now he'll head onto the Warden, so still utilizing the 1.5 scope, but this time on a much faster fire rate weapon in the MPX. And for Oxygen here, trying to put 2 in a row, just as KARN & Co did on their attacking side. Gonna level up the scoreline and really get back into this match. And again, it's the discrepancy in kills, getting 0 kills through the first 2 rounds. It's really going to make this scoreboard look pretty rough, regardless of what the actual round count ends up being. Just because of that devastation early on for KARN & Co. You see the attack heading for the top side once again, as OXG have opted to repeat both the bomb sites they lost. They were successful the second time around on Dining Kitchen, and they'll look to replicate their 3 attempts of success up here in Master.
KARN & Co looking to avoid running into a similar trap as last time. Avoid running into a single player who can manage to waste so much time. And they're going to do it by pressuring a lot of different avenues at once. You've got Tristan on that office door, Giddy on that rappel, KARN and Kixro over on that north side, trying to apply some pressure from the solarium windows. And the smoke will delay them just a bit. But that's a good bit of early utility they're forcing out, and a good bit of damage they've dealt to Dream as well. KARN will finish off Yaga and equalize with the kill that Foxay was able to find first. Dream has also been down and is in a position that is going to be nearly impossible for anyone to recover him. Nobody on KARN has actually made the push in just yet, though, and while they do, sitting outside the building, they're gonna farm kills. 2 more kills go their way. Dream still down, Fish the only player remaining.
More flashbangs coming flying into the window here for Fish, and I imagine that Wi-Fi has relayed to the rest of the team as the flashbangs are coming in from up above from Carnage on the rappel as well. They know where Fish is, and he's going to try and reascend the solar stairs, but Karn's got him on a drone. Might have hurt him there. He didn't see him all the way through. Didn't find the drone either. He's able to spring back into action, and I imagine he's going to have to go for the revive of Dream here in the closet with barely 3 seconds left on Dream bleeding out. He's able to get him back and standing, but he will fall for it. So 20 HP left for Dream, and it's 20 HP down to 0 as Wi-Fi will cut him down, and it's KARN & Co. taking a 3-1 lead, not letting the last round stop them on their mission of domination.
Yeah, they're keeping up the pace. I'm going to keep things going, and that time they showed us, you know, a little bit different of a style of attack, right? It wasn't one directional. They didn't push in as a team from everyone working over from that library side. Instead, it was you had someone on those solarium windows. You had somebody pushing from office. You had someone pushing from library. Enough to really ensure that if one of those things goes wrong, you've got somebody else to pick up the pieces right behind. OXG, they're the first team to take a tactical timeout here because clearly things are not going the way they expected.
No, and I think for Oxygen here, you're a little worried just because of the scoreline. You're worried because of how the first 2 rounds went. Again, Newer's taking an engagement there and coming up empty. You're going to see it right here. And again, it's just the unfortunate nature of that barricade and how it was open. Newer's couldn't really see his target, so I'm not blaming this on him not being in the action. It just seems to be a trend from the back half of group stage continuing over here from the playoffs and now into the LCQ. But I also think Chalet is an attacker-sided map at its base, at its core. It's statistically skewed attacker-sided, and I think for Oxygen, they wouldn't have picked the map if they didn't think they had a good handle on it. They're going to have to head downstairs now after attack timeouts. Fish as well, who has yet to get on the board, so they shouldn't be laying all the blame here at the feet of Newers. Both of them now trying to get onto the board here and have some impact in these rounds, and for KARN & Co. kind of keep the momentum going. They've showed a willingness and a drive and a capability of getting in and getting entry picks and being able to set the tone early in these rounds and follow through. It's very impressive to see, again, from a T2 team. These are the Element 1 champions, the closest thing we have to Challenger League anymore. But still, this is Oxygen. This is a team that you would talk about potentially going to majors and potentially going to 6 invitationals. This is a very, very strong early start for the T2 team in this LCQ.
Let's see if they can keep that up. 2 more rounds to go on their attacking side. Arguably the favorable side here on Chalet. 4 rounds would be nice. 5 rounds would be amazing. 3 maybe a little bit subpar. So they're still looking to keep going. They're still looking to get a couple more before the swap. And maybe it'll come in the form of another opening kill. So far, 2 for 2 on the opening kills for KARN & Co. They won the first 2 rounds, and they did it both with opening engagements, winning those opening engagements. The following 2 rounds, it was Yaga and Foxe who got on the board first, but KARN & Co. quick trades allowed them to stay in the game and not get any sort of dramatic man disadvantage sent their way. So far, though, through the first minute of round number 5, things have been slow going. Oxygen, they're flirting with a couple of engagements here and there, but they aren't trying to maintain an excessive amount of map control. They've got someone top blue, they've got someone in library itself, and Kickshow's gotta be careful because he walked himself into a crossfire. Yaga takes advantage and takes his head right off.
Just some unfortunate timing there for Kickstro, as they didn't have the exact location of Yaga, as he's had that ERC cloak on for the majority of the availability in this round. So inside a library, he remains, and he will be a powerful thorn in the side as he drops into games now. But yeah, just narrowly missing Foxe coming up the blue stairs, poking his head up to shoot at some drones, and then Foxe dips away at the perfect time, and then again, the pre-fire just 1 bullet too few. It doesn't collect onto Yaga in the middle of the swing, so Yaga still doing some very good work on the roam here. They have not been able to isolate Yaga and stop him from being a nuisance here. This is a lot of map control that Oxygen have maintained throughout this round, and Thermite charge onto the trench wall. Everything getting opened up as of yet here, and Tristan taking a lot of damage from Newers. Dream does get downed, I believe, from a frag grenade, but there goes KARN taking some damage. Tristan will clean up Dream. It's a back and forth contest, but it's definitely skewing in the favor of Oxygen as KARN will go for the execute.
Yeah, here they go. C4 shot out, not going to be a problem for KARN. He'll stick this diffuser, and now the coverage is what it's going to be all about. The retake for OXG. It starts off well with Newers. It starts off even better with Newers. He goes for 2, make it 3 on the round. It's just Giddy up above. Fish has been down, so it is a 1v2. Taking the time to recover Fish, though, turns us into a 1v3. 25 seconds, that's decent for Oxygen. They just have to track down Giddy if they can. They must suspect he's above. Fish is going to try to hunt him down, but he's got to time this swing perfectly. He'll round the corner, but it's Yaga to do it from below first. An easy counter defuse and a well-constructed retake.
Excellent job there, and like you said there, 3 on the round for Newers. A great shot up through the hatch there from Yaga. Fish didn't even need to get into the engagement in the retake, and good idea for going for the res there, not keeping it a 1v1, as someone would have had to go for the defuse to bait out the attacker playing above. So very well done there in crunch time, in very, very precarious situations for Oxygen, but being able to maintain that map control. They knew that no one was going to be able to hold the flank, and the majority of the attackers, that's what I'm talking about with the pre-fire, just being 1 bullet too short for Kicksrow. Yaga went for that swing. Good call on the shooting of the nitro cell as well there from Wi-Fi, and for that round, honestly, Oxygen just looked in control in terms of being able to maintain the roaming presence and maintain as much map control. They knew that once the site execute came, that's where everyone was for KARN & Co. There wasn't a surprise coming on another flank. There was just one angle to approach, and Newers quite adeptly dissected all of those angles one by one and was able to push on towards the diffuser.
This is where things could potentially take a turn in Oxygen's favor if they can just get this one more round. They would move on to the favorable side of Chalet and set themselves up for success. Foxay keeping on the Solus, using that utility already in round number 6 to take out a couple of drones. Or at least, I guess, one drone in this case, as KARN & Co have managed to evade capture for the most part. They'll have a bit of information to work with towards the mid to late round, as well as those Rotero drones from Giddy, which not only give you a bit more information, but also a nice bit of explosive power to lead your way into the building here. They'll have to deal with these castle barricades early, though, and you can deal with them with the Rotero drones, of course, but those X-Kairos pellets from KARN are also a nice handy gadget to deal with that. So with the master window open, that is a cutoff through the site that Oxygen will have to keep their eye on as well.
See everyone for KARN & Co amassing outside the bathroom window. This might be a fast entry topside as the frag grenade will open up the castle barricade in towards Piano. Viewers checking for any approaches from the office balcony, but now this window opened up. He's going to have to be concerned. A huge jump out here for Fish. He's able to get 2 of them, and he's looking for even more as Giddy will approach the west main window. Good start there for Fish to get onto the board as well. See Newers and Fish come to life. Fish tries to hunt for even more, but Giddy will shut him down outside of the west main window, but not before Foxay jumps into the action and puts Kicksrow down. So it's just Wi-Fi and Giddy now left in a technical 2v4, but nobody on the attacking side is actually going to push, and Fish is going to get revived. Still a 5v2, making a 5v1, and Oxygen looking to put up their own flawless round in response to the first 2. Giddy vaulting into games with the diffuser. He'll win the engagement on Yaga to stop the flawless from happening, but the hunt is on for Oxygen. Every single person for this team is trying to get this final kill, and there it is. Foxay will shut it down with the P90, and an early stumble for Oxygen, but they recover quite well to end the first half.
And that's about what makes sense timeline-wise. If you're thinking about how long it takes a team to figure out what your opponent is throwing at you, we kind of saw this similar thing with Aerial Arise yesterday in their series against Mirage. It may have taken Mirage a few minutes, but then they won 14 rounds in a row. I'm not saying that's coming, but those are 2 pretty convincing rounds for Oxygen, and they're starting to change up their play style a little bit. They're starting to play a little bit more free-flowing, a little bit looser, and that's a style of play that clearly complements Fish, clearly complements Newers well, they're starting to do a little bit more damage. And honestly, I would not be shocked. I know we've said Newers has not had the best last few weeks of all time, but I would not be shocked if playing this looser style of play is good for Newers and gets him back up to where we know he can be, if that's more his comfort zone here. Sure, that was just 2 rounds, and KARN & Co can absolutely flip that momentum back around, but they've got to keep an eye on this because a worrying trend is starting to emerge with Oxygen playing that looser style
Attackers are heading out
and winning engagements and winning rounds because of it.
I think this is really going to be the test here for Oxygen to determine where they're at in terms of feeling out KARN & Co, swapping to the attacking side now, which should statistically be the slightly more favored side on this map. You do come away with a 3-3 half there if you're Oxygen on the defense, so you're probably feeling decent about that as well. I think right now is just, again, getting those gunners activated. It's Yaga swapping off onto the Yana this time, and Fish now was on the Yana. He's going to swap off to the Grim. So you've got 3 very, very nice to use weapons in the hands of Fish, Yaga, and Newer. 3-headed monster to take aim against KARN & Co here for Oxygen. You're going to want to see them all get involved and try and continue the momentum they've gained from the last couple rounds. Like you said yesterday, it was a 5-0 lead for Aerial Rise against Mirage, and then 14 rounds in a row. I also don't think we're going to be seeing the exact same scoreline come out, but I do think this is the perfect time for Oxygen to start gaining some momentum in this series. And there it is with Yaga with the nade onto Kixro. Started out amazing to start this map off. He hasn't really been much of a factor as of late. Foxe will avoid the Nitro Cell coming up from Carnage downstairs as well. So Oxygen reading the situation well, going for a solar take to get top control. They start out with the opening pick and some even more momentum eating up the utility of KARN.
Yaga and Kixro have run into each other in the opening engagement 4 separate times now, and now 3 times it has gone the way of Yaga. Only once to Kixro, a pattern that, well, Kixro needs to break, and maybe he needs to start finding someone else to fight when teams begin to work their way into the building. Now, Yaga has been finished off thanks to Giddy, but Giddy quickly gives his life away. Tristan equalizes and keeps us even. A 3v3 as we near that 1-minute mark. But Oxygen now getting a bit more proactive. Fish beginning to take this space into Solarium and into Master. Rather than just taking half of the top floor, Oxygen clearly want the whole thing. And they're going to use that to establish some vertical play and begin to pressure the site below.
See, they were successful in removing Tristan from Master, and Fish with a Bailiff on the secondary on Grim as well will add to the soft destruction capabilities of Newers now with some breaching charges. A lot of work to be done here with only 30 seconds and change on the clock, so Newers going to be opening up the floorboards. And I imagine he will try and retain the top control for as long as possible as Dream and Fish go for the execute onto the bomb site. Even more floorboards being opened up, and it's going to pin Wi-Fi down in his positioning. Fish checking for anyone inside of Trophy. There is someone in the hallway, though. Not checking the corner is Dream. It'll be the first one for KARN, but then a lot of picks amassing here for Fish, but he runs out of ammo, does not reload properly, and now Wi-Fi stays alive inside of West Main, decapitates one and cuts down another, and KARN & Co. off the back of Wi-Fi, able to pick up their first defense.
And sometimes it's just like that. Sometimes Wi-Fi is just going to be different, and it's going to be tough to take out that final defender. But most of the time, OXG should be winning those rounds. I feel like they set themselves up so well for that execute, but then when they finally transitioned from having all of that map control up above to pushing the site down below, that's where things started to crumble. First, it was the shotgun, and then it was the MP7 to finish off the final 2. KARN & Co get things started well, and then maybe stop the bleeding that had just begun. OXG, they were able to get the opening kill in that round, but they were not able to take the win at the end of the day. So this one, it's looking like we're going to be going back and forth for a while here, Flint.
Absolutely, and I think right now for Oxygen, that's a round that you feel pretty good about in terms of the trades that happen topside. Giddy getting a little overzealous there, and again, it's just you narrowly miss KARN holding out inside of the trophy hallway, and this right here for Fish, I think he messed up the reload. He only had one left in the chamber. If if you had another mag to be able to dump into Wi-Fi there, I imagine the 2v1 onto the bomb site for OXG would have gone slightly better. So it would have been an assured victory for Oxygen, but just another one of those instances where Fish does not seem to be getting the luck that he might want right now. For Oxygen, like I said, man, this is the opportunity to get some momentum started, but this is also the opportunity for KARN & Co. Surprise, take your map away from you, and you really are in a hole, and it's in a competition of the LCQ where you do need to be perfect. You can't lose any series if you want to go to Atlanta.
Oxay using that Rotero drone to take care of the barricade, but most of all, the Malusi Banshee that we see in play now. Don't see her brought out too often these days, but a valuable piece of utility no matter the context. Same goes for this observation blocker that Wi-Fi is relying on to bolster his position. And a drone that might creep its way in down in the bottom of fireplace there, down in the main hall, will not be able to spot what lies waiting up above. Now, typically Oxygen are gonna know what's there no matter what. This is not a surprising setup by any means, but it's one that Oxygen are choosing to avoid. Here they go. The execute begins at 90 seconds, and KARN & Co, they cannot stop it. This diffuser goes down, and it's gonna have to be a retake. A very challenging site to do that on, because you can play outside, you can play safe, and you can play confident. Look at OXG right now. It's Yaga attack on another. Tristan's gotta get active and gotta get desperate here, but these flashes are gonna make his life much more difficult. Same thing goes for Wi-Fi. They'll take a fight outside, win one, but they're gonna have to win two more, and Dream is not having any of it. Newer's up top. He does get dusted, and that's 3 for Tristan, but Dream, he can play safe, he can play careful, and he can play for the round. OXG, they sneak on into games, and they win it.
Man, a very impressive attempt there on the retake from KARN & Co, taking a 3v5 down to a 1 or 2v1 really in their favor. And then down to the 1v1, like you said, Dream with no time left on the clock. There's about 9 seconds left, and Wi-Fi elects to go for the jump there. And an unfortunate one for KARN & Co is, yeah, they left the bomb site a little empty. Not as much top control as they would have liked from inside of Library to be able to shut down a vault through the game's double window. And good recognition there for Oxygen, for Fox on the IGL call to be able to spot that, the opening, and be able to take advantage of it. They get 2 quick picks while the plant's going down. It's just a really impressive fight back here. And this is Tristan, yeah, the beautiful shot onto Newer's upstairs as well. It's just, yeah, 9, 8. Even if he had got the kill there, Tristan would not have been able to counter defuse anyway. There wouldn't have been enough time remaining. So Dream just doing his job of staying alive as long as he needed to secure the round. And Oxygen, they drop their first attack, they win their second attack, and now it's on to the basement for KARN & Co to try and take the lead once again.
I will say that did get a little closer than I think Dream was hoping. There was a moment, and we saw it there in the replay, where he turned to sprint away and play close on the window. In that moment, he wasn't gun up, he wasn't looking at the window, and had that final player been 1 step closer, just a single step closer, there was about 8.5 seconds left on the clock. Might just have been possible for that kill to land and the counter defuse to land in time. It would have really been down to the wire, but Dream avoided it. Didn't matter anyway, and they secured the round. So here we go to round number 9 downstairs, like you said, Flynn, and we're already seeing a good bit of progress from Oxygen thanks to the Boogie drone. The Ram coming out and doing God's work. A lot of soft destruction down in the basement already that KARN & Co will have to worry about.
Oh my god, Yogg has had free reign with these Twitch drones. The first one got a yokai, a dreadnought mine, and opened the mirror, and the second one just got the second yokai and the site default. These Twitch drones from Yaga have just reigned supreme on the site, wreaking devastation. And speaking of, there goes Newer's hitting a shot onto Giddy into storage. So once again, the roaming potential for KARN & Co, being picked apart here as Foxeye will head in topside as well. Very wary and narrowly evading a nitro cell, but it's Wi-Fi is going to have to vault over the balcony and head back in towards the lobby as Newer's approaching from behind. Will cut him down for his second on the round, and Oxygen, once again, a 5v3 advantage. Tristan trying to hold out inside of Dining with his mirror setup, and Kixro attempting to go for a flank to the top floor to support, but everyone on Oxygen well reading that out. There's a yellow ping there as well, so quickly a round that falls apart for KARN and Co. Now a 2v5 to work out for Tristan and KARN.
Yeah, Tristan's been putting in the work here, but even as the Mira, with even those Mira windows to work with, I guess only one Mira window to work with at this point. Yeah, this is not a fight that you're supposed to win. KARN has also been spotted, so this nade's gonna kill him no matter what. He gets taken care of easily, and Oxygen take a flawless round.
Yeah, a round that just seemed very clinical for them, getting in and getting the entries. And again, Newer steps up, a beautiful shot into storage, and then catches Wi-Fi in his attempted flank back towards Dining hold. Catches him from behind by surprise, and again, that flank from Kixro read like a book from the side of Oxygen. Everyone on the team was looking at blue stairs, waiting for the flank to come, and the yellow ping supporting it. So just no real chance there for KARN to have their roaming potential secure the round for them, and no surprises. Oxygen reading KARN and Co. like a book on that round, and once again retaking the lead, now 2 rounds away from securing their map after being down 3-1. Bit of a nervous moment to start this map, but like you said yesterday, the Aerial Rise and Mirage matchup is a perfect example of once a team starts to figure things out, they can get on a roll. It'll be very hard to stop them. So for KARN and Co, trying to get back some momentum, they'll go back to Kitchen and Dining, the only defense that they've been successful in defending so far. And it really was by the skin of their teeth as well. The top clear from Oxygen, very impressive the last time they attacked on this bomb site. Oxygen will be looking to replicate that to put this thing on a match ball.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Tristan, maybe he'll get a chance here, but a drone thrown up and over from Foxay, so he knows what's coming, and Tristan will back off. Again, these Twitch drones doing very good work for Oxygen. This time it is not Yaga using them. He has transitioned over to the Yana, and Foxay has taken up that mantle. You see them on the prowl here, taking care of a good bit of this utility. KARN and Co, we're not seeing any dramatic changes in terms of this defensive setup, lineup, or exact positioning. Castle coming out from Giddy is interesting. It's a good resource to have up above, especially when you're trying to maintain a position in Master to close that bathroom window, that Master double window. But with someone like Newer's in play with these breaching rounds, these breaching charges, those barricades are going to go pretty fast. And Oxygen shouldn't have too much issue getting into the building here in just a moment.
No, and it appears that Oxygen have swapped the take. So last time they went for their top clear from the solar side as their entry point. 2 repels on solar and 1 on big window. And this time around, they've swapped things up to go for a library overtake. Have opened up the windows to give KARN and Co reason to hesitate and reason to hold firm and not rotate and turn their attention back towards library. But again, these Twitch drones, Foxay and Yaga for the last 2 rounds, completely decimated defender utility with just a couple of Twitch drones entering into the bomb site, and nobody on KARN Co able to spot them out and take them off. And Fox has even got intel now on KARN holding inside a kitchen. He's holding the trophy window, but a pre-fire probably could get him on the vault. Newers will start things off onto Kixro once again. So a phenomenal start for Kixro. The entry for KARN Co has fallen quite quiet as of late, and there goes the vault in. KARN will at least persevere against Fish and grab the trade. Here comes Yaga looking to make his way into the bomb site.
Nade comes out, but a C4 beats him to it. He gets blown sky high. That's 2 for KARN. KARN and Co retake the man advantage with 45 seconds. Oxygen, well, they gotta be careful here. A good angle from Foxay through the drone hole. Nearly does enough damage to Tristan, but not quite. Frost still in play. Wi-Fi, though, he'll be the one to step up, taking care of Dream. Newers gets one in retaliation, but I don't know if it's enough. 25 seconds, there goes Foxay, and it's all up to the Ash. Against 3? I don't think so. He'll crouch walk his way into the kitchen hallway, but Tristan, who stayed alive due to the shots from Foxay, manages to get the final kill. And KARN and Co. managed to tie us up.
Man, that really is a round there where you're going to look back in the VOD review and just go, crap. Fox, just one more bullet. You get rid of the frost inside of Trophy. You're able to make your entry, and Tristan was able to get the last pick. Yeah, this here, you see the feet. He's not moving, and yet you miss a couple crucial shots and another follow-up that misses as well. And it results in Trophy still being held by the defense. It could have been a good entry point there for Fox and Newers to be able to work out of in that situation. Nonetheless, KARN & Co. able to win out, even with, again, leaving the bomb site pretty soft. OXG trying to take advantage of that. Doesn't go their way this time around, and we level up at a 5-5. We're going to need all 12 rounds of regulation here and potentially overtime. Have we had an overtime yet? I don't think we have either. No, we haven't had a map 3, but I don't think we've had an overtime either.
Haven't had an overtime.
5 seconds left.
They've been close
For
games,
everything. Yeah.
but it hasn't been
Attackers
that
detected.
close.
Defuse a bomb.
So, I mean, if this back and forth continues, overtime is where we are headed. But
Reload.
who knows? Big difference maker, it's going to be Kixro. Because after highlighting the 6 kills that he was able to get through the first 2 rounds, honestly better than that, through the first round and then the first maybe 60 seconds of the next round, he has found 0 kills since that time. And what, we're 10 rounds later, 8 rounds later here on round number 11. So it really is a question of, can he heat back up? And if so, you know, is that enough to put KARN & Co. on top consistently? They're gonna have to watch out for Oxygen here in round number 11. Again, Newers is going to work his way in the building quick. Yaga is gonna give himself the same option, and he'll join his teammate now, jumping through the bathroom and working their way through Piano. The big difference here, not a ton of presence from KARN & Co. on the top floor. I think they will have something to deal with on the library side and on the top of Fireplace, but nothing on the north side to worry about.
And I think in tandem with Kixro really just falling off the face of this map is at the end of, or the beginning of round number 4, or beginning of round number 5, sorry. Beginning of round number 5, I called out Fish and Newers having 0 kills for either of them, and since then they've picked up 16 between them. But it's been quite the ramp up here for those two on Oxygen side. It's been quite the ramp down for Kixro on the side of KARN & Co. Wi-Fi, though, has been lighting up the scoreboard every opportunity he gets. And there goes Newers to be shut down in the moment, so an opening death on the side of Oxygen. And Wi-Fi will live on past the midway mark in the round. Up on the balcony, he's able to impact away the Flores drone as well, so his shield will persevere along with him. The frag grenades gonna have to go against the magnets and the prioritization towards the blue shield, but there goes Wi-Fi on the Mez balcony. KARN alone now. There goes a Nitrocell, goes soaring, but it will not connect from Giddy. So the only Nitrocell, the availability of the defense is now gone, but here comes Kixro on the potential flank of Dreams through Bathroom and Piano.
Oh, the pinch, perfectly timed. Dream working really well in combination with the rest of OXG to get that job done. Taking care of anyone on KARN & Co. that might be remaining up top. Now they just have to worry about what lies in wait down below. They've got 25 seconds to deal with it, but all 3 defenders for KARN & Co. are in very similar positions. KARN just a bit tucked further down on those basement stairs, and Tristan, who for a moment it looked like was as good as dead, well, he'll survive for about 2 seconds longer than that. Giddy gets one in return, but KARN & Co., the time is working in their favor, but Oxygen, they collapse just in the nick of time. About 8 seconds left on the clock. They make their move, and now they have a chance to put this map away. It's map point.
Oh, you can see everyone on Oxygen laughing there as Foxay had vaulted over the mezzanine balcony, as we will get a tack timeout here heading into round 12 for KARN & Co. Fox almost jumped on the head of the flanking Frost of Carnage. It was so close in terms of the opportunity for Carnage to be the flank that Kixro wasn't able to pull off through Bathroom and Piano. Again, these flanks have been called out every single time. It always seems like Kixro or another member of KARN & Co. is in a position to have a devastating flanking attempt. And as soon as he's in position to actually have an effect on the round, he just gets decimated with the intel. Oxygen always wary, always aware of the flanks. and it's just been a thorn in the side for KARN to have to deal with. And again, there, just a little bit of siege timing for Carnage as he comes up the stairs a second too early. If they had both gone into the bomb site and then KARN had followed behind, could have been a perfect flank to put themselves on a match point. But instead, it's Oxygen, who now stand at a 6-5 on their own map pick. And KARN have the option here to extend us into our first overtime of the LCQ in this stage. I think for Oxygen, you don't want to risk that. You want to keep the momentum going from the 3-3 half, set up a 4-2 second half, and be able to walk into Oregon up a map on your map pick as well, having one chalet already.
Throwing a dread mine. Setting the welcome mat.
Well, is overtime possible? KARN & Co. looking to answer that with an emphatic yes. Turning to Bar and Games to see if they can make it happen. Ixro hasn't found a kill since the second round. Pulling out the Soulless, maybe this is the change
5 seconds to go.
that he needs.
Secure active.
KARN on the Frost,
Attackers
looking
are
to
moving
potentially
the
use
bomb.
that utility to deny any early jump in that OXG were able to get last time. Maybe that is enough of a change. But they gotta watch out for it. Oxygen took full advantage of the gap in the defense that KARN & Co left here last time. They were able to get a quick defuse and maintained their composure in the post plant. It'll just be about if KARN & Co can prevent that, or if Oxygen can do it again. Fox say he'll work his way in from down below, at least sending that Rotero drone up to deal with some utility. At the same time, you'll get some pressure in from just about everywhere as Oxygen continue to evaluate their options.
Foxy getting some good work done to start things off. Dispatching of 2 pieces of barbed wire, the only barbed wire on the defense, so not a concern for Oxygen's attack anymore. Newers had made his entry in down below, potentially considering elevating himself up West Main Stairs to try and do battle here with Kixer, who's instead of gone and positioned himself for the flank over by Solar Stairs, is trying to hold down Dining for the time being. But here comes Newers, slowly creeping his way up Blue Stairs from the basement. Doesn't seem like anyone on KARN & Co is aware of this, although Tristan does appear to have a ping. He does check the angle for just a moment. Newers on the edge of being able to push his way into the bomb site. Have an immediate effect on the round. The frag grenade will not connect onto the defender inside of storage. Very good position to be in here for Newers, as Tristan was holding the angle, but Newers wins out. Another one for him as he heads topside now to try and take apart the top hold that Wi-Fi is persevering on. It's Newers going critical now. 3 on the round for him on the Ash, and he continues his run. There goes 4, and all 5 get wiped off the board as Oxygen